But on Legion, as you'll hear, like always, we got something Marvel. I have no idea. Let's go. Oh wait, do I have fucking subtitles on still?
My name is Daniel Kibblesmith, and I am the writer of New Warriors #1. I got interested in the New Warriors later. I remember seeing them on the shelf when I was a kid, picking up comics in the 90s, and just feeling like they were too cool for me. Like I was intimidated by, Night Thrasher who had a blade coming out of his wrist. Nova was really buff. They were all the edgy characters for the 90s, as the cover said. New Warriors, I thought, were really interesting characters because they occupy this really cool space. They're forever young, but they've now been around for 30 years. My editors on the previous books I'd done, like Loki and Black Panther versus Deadpool, asked if I would be interested in doing a New Warriors tie-in that actually poses them as the authority figures in this conflict instead of the rebels, and I really liked the tension of that. So because the New Warriors are the authority figures in this story, they have to be mentoring New Warriors who are under 21 and subject to the laws that triggered the Outlawed event. This new law is making it illegal to be a vigilante under the age of 21. The artist on New Warriors #1 is Luciano Vecchio. He designed all of the New Warriors and gave them costumes that felt as modern as the New Warriors costumes to sort of feel classic
Modern's
and
not
instantly
better.
familiar. So the first character that we're introduced to is Trailblazer. She's a group home and foster kid who is volunteering at a senior center when this mysterious threat shows up and Night Thrasher runs to the rescue. And because she helps him, she ends up in the crosshairs of this new outlawed law. And she inherited from her grandfather a magic backpack of divine origin. We picked the name Trailblazer because she's somebody who charges into action.
The vampire
She
and
knows
the
that she
green guy,
can
the
do
only
some
ones that look
good
good.
with
Everyone
this
else looks stupid.
mysterious gift that she's been given. Screen Time is a internet kid taken to its sort of logical conclusion. As a youth, he was exposed to his grandfather's experimental internet gas, and that has patched him permanently into the World Wide Web. The word screen time is only ever used in a sort of restrictive sense, and because we're doing a story about teenage rebels, a lot of the names are about teens fighting against labels that are put on them. So with Screen Time, we liked the idea that he has infinite screen time. Snowflake and Safe Space are the twins, and their names are very similar to Screen Time. It's this idea that these are terms that get thrown around on the internet that they don't see as derogatory, to take those words and kind of wear them as badges of honor. Safe Space is kind of a big, burly, sort of stereotypical jock. He can create force fields, but he can only trigger them if he's protecting somebody else. Snowflake is non-binary and goes by they, them. Snowflake has the power to generate individual crystallized snowflake-shaped shurikens. The connotations of the word snowflake in our culture right now are something fragile. And this is a character who is turning it into something sharp. Snowflake is the person who has the more offensive power, and Safe Space is the person who has the more defensive power. The idea was that they would mirror each other and complement each other. B Negative is the goth kid. When he was a baby, he got a rogue life-saving blood transfusion, we assume from Michael Morbius, and now he has a very similar look and very similar vampire powers. B Negative also is obviously a pun. It's a blood type, which is great for a vampire character, and it's also a proud ownership of the idea of having a bad attitude. I want the people who read our New Warriors to feel all of the excitement that they felt if they read the 90s one. We want it to have big, colorful characters, personality clashes, romance, a diverse cast, which is something that the New Warriors titles have always strived to make a priority. Every New Warriors comic has always felt like a reflection of the year that it came out. And I don't think we're worried about being dated. I think we're way more interested about it being now.
Dude, those fucking names, oh my god. Screen Time or whatever, like some of that stuff was kind of a joke, but I don't know, man. B Negative I thought was pretty clever, and Morbius and all that. It's kind of cool. I mean, I think with just the foster home and the gender identity bullshit. Like, this is just not a comic that's worth reading. It's really not, I don't think, for me. Because I don't give a fuck about these issues, and I don't give a fuck. People are people. Some stuff is stupid. Some stuff is warranted. It's all whatever. I don't have a Twitter because I read the garbage from people that say crap like this, whether it's pro or negative, right? Oh, not a non-binary. That's either good or bad. Like, I don't care about the conversation. I just don't. I don't think it's good or bad. I don't think this is dumb because I disagree with these things. I hate this conversation, like the snowflake generation or the safe space generation. These conversations are just already played out for me, right? Like, both sides are just wrong and stupid because they're arguing about garbage that just doesn't matter, right? If you're for it, then you're for it, and don't let the people that are against it bother you. But instead, we have to have these, but those conversations are more warranted. It's the trickle off people that have nothing to do with it, although they have an opinion about it. That's garbage. Those people are garbage. The ones that like live this kind of life, hey, you can have all those conversations, and all the more power to you. Because the people that feel a certain way have to defend themselves. Also, there's construction going on outside, so sorry for that. But yeah, if you're like in this wheelhouse of people and or others, you have to defend yourself, and then there's going to be the people that object you. But there are other people that just talk to talk, and those conversations I feel are played out and over because it's people that aren't either side. They're not either one of these people, or they're not somebody against it. They're people talking on the debate between the two parties that actually matter. And those people I just don't want to listen to. And those people, I mean, trickles down to this garbage right here. All this crap put into movies, TV shows, comics, it's all just trash. Right? Do you guys remember the show, The New Normal or whatever? And it had the two gay guys that were having a kid with a surrogate woman, and that's what the show was. And it had its funny moments, but they were trying to push, same sex down everybody's throat. It was just like Modern Family was, I think, a very laid back way of doing things, right? But The New Normal was like hitting you over the head, trying to tell you this is why it's okay. And that's what I don't like, right? Like the media, stuff like this that capitalize on these discussions, first of all. Not the first two parties. I live this and I don't like that you live it. These are the main parties. But this crap right here is the people around them that are like, well, this is why I think they should be allowed or not to be allowed. You are not identifying as something, nor do you have a problem with them identifying as something. Why are you talking? And those dipshits translate into, media capitalizing on it financially. It's not a story that's going to benefit humanity, or people like, there are some shows, movies, whatever, that do things in a very low-key way that show justice and equality to all the people that are affected, that live, the LGBTQ or whatever. And then there's the TV shows that are just loud, stupid, and don't benefit anybody. It's just you make money and you just say, oh, it's a same-sex whatever, and that brings people in, and it's just a gimmick. That's the thing. It's a gimmick opposed to a real thing, a real story with real issues, right? And like this just looks like an issue with they put a squeaky little red nose on it. That's what this looks like. And now I may be completely wrong. There may be some real heavy hitting stories in there and some deep meaning, and you'll have to let me know, because I'm not going to waste the time or the money to see what's going on here. But it is cool that Marvel's just doing something. I'm always for that. Progression in some way, is, and with all that aside, there is the fact that this may not just be a big bucket of shit, and that in the future, people taking steps like this will help it be normal in the future. Like right now, this seems like a joke. This seems stupid and corny, right? But, and I'm not talking about just the new Warriors, but the new Warriors, right? But in the future, they may be like, yeah, see, they did that, And it may have been whatever, but it was part of the foundation for what we're doing now. And that's always really cool as well. So you always got to keep that kind of stuff in mind. Even if you're like, this seems really stupid, and it seems like they're maybe just going to make money based off of kids in foster homes and non-gender identifying and kids that live in areas where they only have so much screen time or whatever, like, or live in some kind of home where screen time is limited, like juvie or whatever that institution you're at for wayward kids or something, you know. And maybe those kids will see this and it'll help them, and hope so. But maybe it's also just whatever it is. But in the future, it's like, oh, we can do all this because this was part of the foundation, and you got to keep that kind of stuff in mind as well. You know, even if it seems like dumb or corny now, it may be good for the future. So, with that, you know, the now me is like, no, thank you. But the future, this may inspire something awesome in the future, and that'll be cool to see. So, with that, I love to see and hear all your angry comments. I'll see you then. Later, guys.